Bring you this morning's news update live here on channel 44. Well, excuse me, we'll start with what's happening in the New Vision today. Why schools will close 2 weeks early. Teachers and parents speak out on closure. It's in today's New Vision on page 3. Get yourself a copy and see what could be the causes. Government has announced the shortening of the school term by 2 weeks. The measure is in a bid to control the spread of the Ebola virus disease. The First Lady and Minister of Education and Sports, Mrs. Janet Museveni, said the third term will now end on November 25th instead of December 9th. Her communication was presented at the Uganda Media Center by the State Minister for Primary Education, Joyce Moriku Kaduchu, yesterday. It's in today's New Vision. Details are in today's New Vision on what parents and teachers have said about this and the students themselves. Moving on, AIDS Symposium, the Prime Minister Robin Anabanja was seen together with the U.S. Ambassador Natalie Brown, the Executive Director of Positive Women with Disabilities Betty Kwagala, and the Deputy Chairperson of the HIV and AIDS Committee on Parliament Stephen Kisa, as they danced to a song during the AIDS Symposium at Makerere University Business School yesterday. The story is on page 6. Get yourself a copy. And moving on, HIV infection, 79% new cases among adolescent girls. That's according to a study. And also 2 teachers jailed over forgery. Chenjojo Magistrates Court on Friday sent 2 teachers to Nyamango prison after they were convicted on several counts of forgery and uttering false documents. This was after the duo was arrested by the State House Anti-Corruption Unit detectives last Wednesday. Students arrested with 27 bullets. Security agencies led by police have arrested 2 suspected arms dealers, including a secondary school student who was allegedly found with 27 bullets. And on PLA, 47 pregnant pupils sit for national examinations. And also, Makerere launches fair for transcripts. It's all in today's New Vision. Moving on to the Daily Monitor. Ebola kills 8 children. Rising infections and deaths, including among People's Forces. Government is to order schools to close 2 weeks earlier than the 19th December date amidst the 9th December date amidst new cases reported in 2 more districts. Get yourself a copy of today's Daily Monitor and see which districts really have been cited with cases of Ebola. In other stories, Uganda approves new HIV drugs. The Health Ministry has approved dapivirine, vaginal ring, and long-acting injectable Cabotegravir as additional options for preventing HIV infections. Border riders ask government to reduce permit costs. Remember, the arrests started on Monday. Border riders have asked the government of Uganda to reduce the cost of driving permits, among others. Security arrests 10 relatives of Naduli. It's in today's Daily Monitor. Security operatives raided homes of 10 relatives of embattled NRM supporter Haj Abdul Naduli and arrested them, demanding guns they were allegedly keeping illegally. And then also in other news, activists back Museveni on GMOs, genetically modified foods. Government seeks 100 billion shillings for satellites. The government intends to spend a total of 104.5 billion to develop, launch and operationalize 2 satellites, including the one launched on Monday. A draft budget obtained by this paper indicates. Audit flags defects at airport. A classified security inspection report on Entebbe International Airport has outlined security concerns and gaps which investigators say need immediate action by the aviation regulator. It's in today's Daily Monitor. The Daily Monitor also has job opportunities, tenders at different places. Get yourself a copy. You will see where you can get a job, that is if you do not have a job. Right now, allow me to take you Into today's international news update, we'll start with what's happening in our region. In Kenya, as Kenya prepares to commercialize genetically modified crops, there is resistance from some farmers and campaign groups who question their safety. One of them is Eva Wanjiru, who is concerned by the fact that many Kenyan farmers will begin using genetically modified maize seeds early next year after the government recently reversed a 10-year ban on the crops. The seeds will be planted on 500,000 acres and will be drought resistant according to the country's agriculture authorities, thus helping curb shortages caused by the lack of rain. However, there is nothing to fear when it comes to genetically modified organisms on the human body, according to a professor of biotechnology at the Kenyatta University. In the United States, U.S. Republicans are increasingly optimistic they will win the House of Representatives as votes are counted from yesterday's midterm elections. The battle for the Senate remains too close to call, and Republicans need to win just one seat to take control. Though President Joe Biden, a Democrat, is not on the ballot, the midterms will shape the fate of his agenda. Key Senate races in Wisconsin, Arizona, Nevada, Georgia were rated a toss-up. Of votes being counted so far, the press estimates Republicans were on course to win 198 seats in the House and Democrats 180. Republicans were expected to hold on to governors' mansions in the key states of Texas, Florida, and Georgia. Florida's Ron DeSantis and Texas's Greg Abbott are future possible Republican presidential contenders. The United Human Rights Chief has called on Egypt to immediately release jailed British Egyptian pro-democracy activist Alaa Abdel Fattah. He began the strike in April to protest against the denial of consular visits. His sister Sana Seif said that all they know is that Alaa stopped drinking water for 50 hours and they do not know where he is or he is alive. She was speaking to a news conference at the COP27 climate conference in the Egyptian Red Sea resort of Sharm el-Sheikh. In Europe, President Macron will use a speech in Toulon today to bring to an official end France's 8-year anti-jihadist operation in the Sahel. Operation Barkhane has been inoperative since February, when France announced its military withdrawal from Mali. The last French troops left their base in the Malian town of Gao on the 15th of August. According to the Elysee Palace, Mr. Macron wants to spell out new priorities that from now on will govern military interventions in Africa. At its high point, there was 5,500 French troops taking part in Operation Barkhane, which was initially launched in 2013 to stem the advance of jihadist insurgents in Mali. The other countries in the partnership were Niger, Chad, Burkina Faso, and Mauritania. In the United States, Sir Gavin Williamson has resigned as government minister after allegations of bullying, saying he aims to clear himself of any wrongdoing. The Member of Parliament had been accused, this is in the United Kingdom. The Member of Parliament had been accused of sending abusive messages to a fellow Tory Member of Parliament last month and of bullying a senior civil servant as Defence Secretary. Sir Gavin said he refuted how his conduct had been characterized. In his resignation letter, he was leaving government with real sadness, but offered Prime Minister Rishi Sunak his full and total support from the backbenches. And finally, Tesla boss Elon Musk has sold another 19.5 million shares of the electric car maker worth $3.95 billion, filings with the U.S. financial watchdog show. The news comes less than 2 weeks after the world's richest man completed his $44 billion takeover of social media Twitter. Tesla's share price has fallen from more than 50% since the start of this year. And separately, Tesla is recalling over 40,000 of its vehicles in the United States because of a potential problem with their power steering. The reason for the latest sales, which took place the last week, have not yet been disclosed. Well, that brings us to the end of this morning's news update. Thank you for watching Channel 44. We'll return at 12:45 with fresh news updates in our News in Brief. I remind you of the Karamoja cry. We are helping the people of Karamoja. We are sending a permanent solution to the hunger situation in Karamoja. We are planting, plowing, and producing for the people of Karamoja. So far, what has been done has been great. Thanks to you, the partners, and Robert Kayanja Ministries. However, the need is still great, as we have to give these people Karamoja Christmas, Christmas of their lifetime. Please join us once again as we send great Christmas to the people of Karamoja. Send your seed to the numbers that will be available during the services. Or you can join us by coming here at the Miracle Center Cathedral during our services. We are having revival services every day, and today we are having our midweek service here at the Miracle Center Cathedral. Join us and bring your seed for the Karamoja Christmas. God bless you. The Pastors Now program is up next. Enjoy your morning.